Okay, well, what I have here is the brand new Ecovacs Deebot X11 OmniCyclone robotic vacuum. So this is their top of the range, it's brand new, and it's got a whole bunch of tech in it that I actually haven't seen before. And it's all designed to really tackle the pain points of cleaning your home. So, welcome to the GadgetGuy channel. Let's take a closer look. Well, here it is. This is the new Deebot X11 OmniCyclone. I love it. It's got a new look. It's got nice new materials. Still quite compact, but look, it is packed full of next level innovations, upgrades, and technologies. So with PowerBoost technology, the way a normal robot vacuum and base station would work is the robot goes out and does some cleaning and mopping, and then it comes back to the base station where it can either empty the dust or clean the dirty mop water or clean the mop roller. However, if it needs to recharge, it has to come back to a separate visit and then recharge the robot's batteries. So now with PowerBoost technology, all of this can happen at the same time. So just one visit, it can come back, sort of like a racing car coming in for a pit stop. It can have its battery topped up, as well as everything clean, so it's ready to go. Now the benefit of this is that your robot vacuum can get more done without having to wait to recharge itself in one of those stops. And that means basically that you can have your floor clean faster and the robot vacuum never really runs out of charge. There's even an adaptive charging mode that just squeezes every last little bit of operation out of the battery, and that means that the robot doesn't have to return back to the dock for 1,000 square meters of cleaning, and that's at full suction as well as deep cleaning and mopping modes. And it really gives you confidence that you can have a whole lot of your home cleaned on a single charge. I absolutely love this feature. So this is the new OmniCyclone station, and this is a bagless system. So it means that the dust that comes out of here gets stored in here, but you don't need any bags. It'll save you buying about 25 bags over 5 years, according to Ecovacs. It's great for not having consumables or putting stuff into landfill. Plus, it's really easy to change. So there's 1.6 liters of capacity in here. That'll last you about 48 days. But when you're ready, you just quickly take it out of here, then you open it up, empty it into the bin, no mess, and then it goes back in here. And because of the sort of cyclonic technology too, that means that it doesn't lose suction power over time. They say about 1% loss for really, really heavy, dirty loads. So I think it is really cool, and it's something that will definitely help you keep your hands clean. So the OmniCyclone station does more than just manage the dust. It actually cleans the mopping system here as well for the Deebot X11. So the way it works is it's got 75-degree hot water soak washing. So the mop roller actually sits in a little tank, and then it gets thoroughly cleaned. It gets rotated in that tank. It gets cleaning solution in there as well. And that just kills germs, and you definitely don't want odors and things coming from your robot vacuum. Also, when it's done cleaning, it will then dry it with 63-degree hot air, and then the roller will actually rotate there too. And the whole thing takes about 2 hours to clean, but it's nice and quiet when it does it. Okay, here in the kitchen, obviously I do my cooking in here. I also make a mess, can't help that. Most of it ends up on the floor, and that's where my X11 does most of its work. So if you're totally new to this, a robot vac like this one can both mop and vacuum, and often it'll do it at the same time, or you can set it to do it on separate passes. However, this has some really advanced technology in it, and it's ideal for larger homes, messier homes, and that's called the OZMO Roller 2.0. So if I turn it over, you'll see that the mop actually is a roller type mop. Now, this has a number of advantages over the traditional sort of dual brush mops. And really what it does is it's able to clean itself as it goes. Because with the older style mops, those can sometimes create streaking and also leave water on the floor. And sometimes they're just dirty, and you're basically cleaning your floor with a dirty mop before they go back to the base station and clean themselves. So in this case, you're always putting clean water and a clean mop on the floor, and I love that. So how does it do it? Well, when the dirty mop rolls back up into the system, there's actually a scraper there, and it scrapes off all of the dirty water and debris into a reservoir. And then there are all these jets across the top of the mop spraying clean water back onto it, so when it rolls back down onto the floor, it's nice and clean. What's also unique about the OZMO Roller 2.0 is that it's able to push quite hard on the floor. It's actually 3,800 Pascal units of pressure pushing down, plus it spins at 200 revolutions per minute, so you can really scrub. Plus, there's a new higher density nylon brush here as well. So you just imagine just how well that's able to just get in there and get those stains off. There's even a double effect cleaning solution, which is in addition to the normal cleaning solution, that when it detects a really tough stain, it actually can use that to really just lift up those stains as well. And if that's not enough, the Deebot has AI stain detection, so it can actually analyze the severity of a stain, and then it can initiate a double cleaning mode where it can actually go back and clean a stain again, just to make sure that you never have to actually go and clean it yourself. So the X11 also was really good at making sure it mops right up to the edges of baseboards and gets into corners, and it uses TruEdge 3.0 technology, so really that just senses where the edges are in the world around it. And then the actual mop itself can extend outwards using like an air cushioned extension here right up against those edges. This year it goes an extra 1.5 centimeters more than it did last year. And there's even these little rollers here that actually run along those baseboards, so it really does get right in contact with them, and you'll never have to clean an edge. So we talked about the mop, let's talk about the vacuuming capabilities of the Deebot X11. So I guess suction, yes, is very important when it comes to a robot vacuum, and this has a whole lot of suction power. It's actually 19,500 Pascal units of suction, and that's plenty. However, it's not just about how powerful it can suck, it's also important that it can move a lot of air quickly. And that's where the blast technology comes into play here. So what blast basically means is that it actually, all of the tubes inside here have been widened, and there's a very powerful 100-watt motor inside here that actually moves the air through the system. And the more that air can be moved, and this does about 18 liters of air per second, that means that it can pick up larger particles. So whereas before you might be picking up hair, dust, maybe some rice and some sand, now you can pick up things like stones and bigger pieces of dirt, or maybe some muesli in bigger chunks, that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, you really want your robot vacuum to be just as capable as, say, something like a stick vacuum. With the powerful suction and the blast technology, I was really impressed with how it tackled my carpets. I've got some tighter weave carpets here, but it's also good at doing sort of higher pile carpets as well, because that extra suction just really helps lift dirt as well as hairs out of it. Now, speaking of hairs, there's the anti-tangle 3.0 technology, because no one wants to have to go and sort of pick off hairs and unwrap them from the robot vacuum's brushes. So if I turn this over here, you can see that there's sort of a cyclonic dual brush system here. It's got both nylon as well as rubber, and it channels the hair right into the middle here where there's a comb that sort of scrapes it off, and then it just sucks it up. Also, this arc clean side brush here on the side, the side sweeper brush, you can see the way it's designed here, and it's made it so it doesn't actually have the ability to wrap hair around it. So you're getting 100% tangle-free sort of brushing on both of these systems. And in terms of navigating around my home, look, I've got some complex areas, some chair legs, some strange surfaces for it to get around. It has something called object avoidance, or AIVI 3.0. This technology just allows it to map the world around it, but also to recognize and avoid objects. But it's not just good at recognizing and avoiding them, it actually can still cut a very close path around them, so it still kind of cleans up to the edges around sort of irregular objects. Say maybe you left some clothes on the floor, or some sneakers, or maybe there's just a pet in the way, for example. It can recognize and go into special modes to avoid them or to clean very closely around them. So around the studio, there's a couple of areas that robot vacuums traditionally have struggled to get over. I've got some tables and chairs that have sort of like rail type legs, meaning that there's a rail that they have to get over to clean around them. However, the X11 actually has something called a TruePass adaptive four-wheel drive climbing system. So this is a mechanical system that basically allows it to get over most sort of thresholds in homes. You can also see that the tires here actually have these thick grooves in there, and that's just really good at gripping the edges so it can get up and over it. Yeah, so it really works quite well, and it just opens up all new areas of your house to get cleaned. So to control and operate the Deebot X11, you can use the app, and there's lots of ways of configuring your cleaning modes and learning about the different options and settings. However, you can also use YIKO, and that's the voice assistant that you can actually talk to. However, she gets a lot smarter this year because she's been merged with a large language model, or sort of an LLM or ChatGPT type of thing, and that makes her much more of an expert. Plus, she can talk more conversationally as well. But first off, when you're setting up the Deebot X11, you actually just listen to YIKO. She just uses voice prompts. She tells you exactly what you need to do, how to get on the network, and that just stops you from having to go into the manual. And the same thing if something goes wrong, say you need to pick her up or to refill something, she'll tell you how to do that using voice commands instead of, again, going back to the manual. Now, another new thing is that YIKO is your AI agent. So basically, she learns about your home's cleaning, where it gets dirty, different floor types, sort of mapping the whole place. She'll basically learn your preferences and how you use your robot vacuum, and then just customize and automate all of the settings, making sure it's fine-tuned to give your home a better cleaning. And the good news there means that you don't actually have to do that stuff yourself. I also like just randomly asking YIKO things like, what's your battery charge level, or how much time before you're fully charged, that kind of stuff. Okay, YIKO.
Go ahead.
Start cleaning my floor, please.
Okay, start vacuuming and mopping the whole house. Deebot is refilling water for the mop now.
So she tells you exactly what's going on. Well, that was loads of fun, taking you around the studio, showing you exactly what the Deebot X11 can do when it comes to mopping my floors and vacuuming my carpets. So I think the things that really stood out for me were the PowerBoost technology. I think this is going to be great, especially for larger homes, and it really just cuts down on that charging time. Also, of course, the OmniCyclone, I absolutely love this technology too. It just means no bags, no fuss. So you can pick up the Deebot X11 OmniCyclone in Australia for $2,999. Or if you want to go without the OmniCyclone station, you can get the Deebot X11 Pro Omni, and that one costs $2,699. So anyway, what do you think? What technology do you think would be most fitting for your home? Let me know in the comments. I'm Val Quinn, and I'll catch you in the next video.